York, cause I just love fashion. Let's make the play for the pad, he taxing. Told her I should better, I take my cut from the back.
I saw this video, I was like, man, let me watch it. Let me fix my webcam. Hold on. Seen this on my recommended. Why was Black Ops 2 so amazing? Everybody know this is one of the golden Call of Duty games. Facts, bro. Everybody played Black Ops 2. No stream champ.
It's 2012, and Call of Duty Black Ops 2 just released with a brand new campaign, multiplayer, and zombies mode. Which one are you dropping into first? This?
Not gonna lie, bro. I'm a zombies guy, cause I ain't gonna lie, multiplayer is cheeks to me. I don't know, but everybody was playing multiplayer back then. I ain't gonna lie.
This was the
and zombies too, actually. Everybody was playing all three.
Choice millions were given on that cool autumn day over a decade ago, as they ripped into what's often referred to as Treyarch's best COD. But how did it gain that kind of status? Is it truly worthy of that honor? And does it hold up by today's standards? Let's dive in and find out.
Look, you want to do like, I want to go through like every COD game and just play the multiplayer, bro. That should be tough. That should be tough, bro.
The campaign
just going back and playing the campaign.
An era never before seen for COD.
That'll be tough, bro.
The future. Taking place in the year 2025, we enter the high-tech, but still boots on the ground.
Oh, this old boy. I seen him on TikTok,
world
bro.
of BO2 through the eyes of David Mason, the son of the original Black Ops main protagonist, as a new Cold War is brewing and about to kick off at any second. The story jumps in time between the two Masons in the future and past, giving fans of both time periods plenty of screen time as you try to piece together who Menendez is and what he's planning. The story is full of all kinds of twists and turns you can only expect from a Black Ops game. One that will always stick with me is on the mission Suffer With Me, where the old man Woods describes a mission he and Mason were on in Panama in the 80s, hunting down Raul. After the two split up, Woods gets a clean shot on Menendez, but he has a bag over his head. Hesitant, Woods listens to Hudson in his ear, telling him to take the shot, and he does. Down goes Menendez. Or does he? The walk to confirm the kill seemed to take ages. As Woods and the player start to grow paranoid.
Damn, I remember this shit like it was yesterday.
They've been tricked somehow. The music builds, adding to this moment as Woods sprints to the body and uncovers a dead Alex Mason.
Menendez.
The game having the player be the one to unknowingly kill the protagonist of the first game is bold, but it's honestly done so well and helps connect you with Woods and David's hatred for Menendez in the present day. Their fight is your fight. That feeling of hopelessness
shot both of these out
against the antagonist when your character loses is just something that COD hasn't been able to really nail again since.
Knock
the
his ass
characters
out.
in general were great too, and gave satisfying continuations to the main cast of the first game, with Hudson returning as a more grizzled, battle-tested soldier who eventually gives his life for Mason's son. Woods being discovered as the only survivor of his squad, and still being the bad man we knew and loved.
He's still that nigga.
Characters like David Mason's brother-in-arms, Harper, become iconic, and of course the villain, Menendez, completely stole the show. He may be the single most fleshed out villain we've ever gotten in Call of Duty, with a heartbreaking backstory of his sister, Josephina, being killed by the Black Ops crew in the past, motivating his rise to power and eventual standoff with the man responsible for her death 30 years later. The characters all feel three-dimensional, with clear allegiances and biases that we understand because we play as them both through triumph and defeat, as opposed to modern COD, where we're told what each character is like in a
yo, that shit look real as fuck. I ain't gonna lie, this shit look real.
Black Ops 2 is probably
that shit look kind of real. I won't lie.
Its branching narrative and multiple endings. Long before Cold War's single decision at the end of the game, deciding what final mission to go on.
I didn't even play the Cold War campaign. I think the last campaign I played was Modern Warfare. Is it 2? I think Modern Warfare 2.
Black Ops
2 I tried and I quit.
Had dozens of different endings based on decisions you make, intel you find, and how well you actually did in game. And these endings can vary widely. Almost every single character has an ending where they live and an ending where they die. And yes, that includes Alex Mason. If you choose to shoot him in the leg during the Suffer With Me mission, he can show up again at the end of the game to reunite with David and Woods after being MIA for 3 whole decades.
I actually didn't know that.
Storylines in general have some drawbacks in any game. It's just difficult for writers to make each ending as great as the others because they're juggling so many different variables. But Black Ops 2 actually does a decent job at making each branch feel earned. The final choice comes down to whether or not to kill Menendez. If David chooses
I ain't lie, you didn't shoot Menendez, bro.
to spare him,
Yeah, bro.
And it's a story about mercy.
Nah, bro.
David
Shoot
Mason
that
is
nigga,
the
bro.
better man,
Shoot him.
finishing what his father started. But if you kill him, that triggers a video to go online, mobilizing Menendez's followers, making him a martyr in the imminent war. And
I
the
don't
story
care.
turns into a cautionary tale
I killed
of the
him.
blind pursuit of revenge that both Mason and Menendez are guilty of. This does beg the question, though. With the recent leaks that COD 2025's title was going to be a direct continuation of the game, what would a proper Black Ops 2 sequel even look like? I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be disappointed if the writers have to hand-wave all these endings and choose one to be the definite canon one. Personally, I hope it's the one where Mason and Woods both survive, because even in old age,
Yeah, I didn't even know that. That'd be tough.
get up and do some cool adventures together. There's even a little Easter egg at the end of the credits where 90-year-old Woods hops out of his wheelchair and plays on stage with Avenged Sevenfold.
Nah, I'm just lazy.
Gameplay wise, the campaign is exactly what you'd come to expect from a Golden Era COD. Lots of big battle missions broken up by a few stealth bits to draw out the tension, with a few notable standouts. Like one where you play as Menendez on the day his estate is raided and his sister is killed. There's a great segment showcasing his rage as you enter this berserk mode, tearing through soldiers on his way back to the house. And when the mission hits its climax, they rewind the clock, and now you replay it from the opposite point of view, storming the house as Mason.
That shit's tough, bro.
Looking for
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Menendez in the
Bottom's
cave.
in his bag.
Another fun one in the early game has you riding horseback in a more open level, moving from point to point, fighting Russians. This is in perfect contrast to the David Mason levels in the future, where you're using gadgets to see enemies through walls, using active camo and spider drones to get behind enemy lines, and piloting futuristic Harrier jets through a destroyed Los Angeles. No two missions feel the same, and it's great. BO2 also came loaded with Strike Force missions. They were these optional side levels.
God, I hated this map, bro. I hated this map on MP.
Usually taking place
That was
on multiplayer
one of the worst
that
maps.
let you swap
Don't like
POVs to any other ally, including tanks, ships, and even ordering soldiers around from a bird's eye view like a real-time strategy game. They were quick and fun, aside from the regular
AGR
campaign that didn't take anything away from the main experience, aside from an ending or two being locked out if you didn't play them. And while these missions weren't met with much praise at the time, the idea of side missions in COD single player is something that I think a lot of the community can get behind.
What I'm talking about.
Coming off
Zombies.
the breakout hit of World at War Zombies, followed
And
by
then
Black Ops raising
1.
the bar for the mode, Treyarch had to dig deep to deliver something that
Damn. Transit was a shit.
could exceed the
Transit
expectations
was so bad.
players had. And unfortunately,
Transit was so
off to
bad.
a rocky start. Transit, the first map on disc, was almost
Then it was Die Rise?
universal.
Die Rise, right?
But I actually kind of enjoyed it. It was the biggest zombies.
Yeah,
to
Buddy's
date.
a casual.
So big, in fact, that it was a detriment to the gameplay. Perks and weapons were scattered around.
Buddy's a
in different
casual. I
regions
don't like Transit,
that was
bro.
only accessible via a bus that circled the map, making getting set up a chore and turning every time one of your teammates goes down into a 10-minute road trip.
Rush hour traffic alerts are now in effect. Please expect a 12-minute slowdown.
You could always try walking from section to
bro.
section, but because of console limitations, the path between POIs was covered in thick fog, and the new denizen zombies would latch onto you the entire time you spent
One of the
there,
most
making
annoying
it
things
more
in zombies,
annoying than
bro.
a fun challenge. Treyarch did think at least to fill the fog with more locations that you could only travel to on foot, though, like the cabin to pick up your trusty Bowie knife. and a 1-to-1 recreation of
Knocked
the
on
first ever
Totem.
Zombies map, Knocked They're on Totem. This game also introduced buildables for the first time.
Comfy.
Like the shield that would later become a zombie staple for the next few installments.
Yep.
Plus, the bank, letting you deposit money in one game
And they still didn't. They didn't continue after builds too.
and withdraw it in
Which was
another
really good.
a feature that I hope makes its way to Modern Warfare Zombies someday soon. Easter eggs,
I actually
which
tried
started
Modern
as a
Warfare Zombies. I heard that
two-step
done with
quest
buns.
to Rise, had now evolved into intricate puzzles to be solved, and even branching past if you chose to side with Richtofen or Maxis across.
Who did he say?
Even branching past if you chose to side with Richtofen
Rick Toppin, money.
or
We're
Maxis
talking.
across the DLC season. But
Make me mad,
they
bro.
weren't all good new additions. The first new wonder weapon, the jet gun,
Shit, what a ooh.
was awful.
What
They
a
tried
bad,
introducing
bad.
power perks that you earned by accomplishing very specific
W.
secret challenges that not a lot of people even knew about. While
W.
Zombies only launched with Transit, some of the map's individual areas like Bus Depot and Town were carved out and made into survival maps, which are exactly what they sound like. There's no frills, no Easter eggs, no bus. You
Just
simply
survive.
spawn in on the map and survive. Same as classic Zombies. And they even dropped a Nuketown Zombies map for season pass holders that followed the same trend.
Nuketown's alright.
But still, many fans weren't happy with the map selection off the bat, and the first DLC map to drop, Die Rise, didn't do too much to fix that either. While a little better than Transit, Die Rise traded in its expensive landscape for tall towers, where players had to jump from building to building across broken paths and risk falling to the ground below. The new wonder weapon was a welcome upgrade compared
Copy.
to
First drop pre-patch liquefier.
the jet gun,
Jeff's
and
kiss.
some of the new buildables
Jeff's
were pretty
kiss.
fun. But the broken paths, unforgiving parkour, and the perks being placed in constantly moving elevators made this map more of a chore than a fun, replayable Zombies map. And for a few months, that's what Zombies fans had to work with until Mob of the Dead was released, pulling a complete 180 overnight.
Yes, King.
Taking place
Come
in
on.
Alcatraz in the 1920s, Mob of the Dead had a much more sinister horror vibe that COD Zombies was missing, with a completely new cast of
That
inmates
was it.
and a
That
main
was it.
Easter egg involving their escape from the prison. This
Yep.
map introduced an afterlife system, where when you die, you appear outside your body as a ghost and can access new areas and see new
True.
items to help you build a plane and escape to the Golden Gate Bridge to find a Pack-a-Punch. This was also the first Zombies map that had an actual ending, a concept that Treyarch would later adapt
Which is lit,
for
though.
many main quests
You
going
can do
forward.
either or.
Buried was the next map in the year. This one took
I love Buried. Buried might be my most played map for zombies on Black Ops 2. I won't even lie.
Town, buried underneath
I
a
won't
desert.
even lie.
On top of a lot of the better features from Transit and Die Rise, like the bank returning, Buried introduced even more new elements, like chalk, letting you pick where your wall buys were
Yo.
on the map. But by far the biggest addition to Buried was good old Arthur, a friendly giant who would help you
His name is Leroy. But it is actually Arthur. I call him
all
Leroy.
kinds of
His
things
buddy name
around the map,
Leroy.
from opening up areas to building equipment for you. In just 2 maps, BO2 completely turned around, and there was still one map left. Origins. An
Might be the
instant
best one
classic.
on there. I won't
The
even
map
lie.
drops
And I
you
love
into a
Buried.
steampunk
I love
World War
Origin.
I, playing as new versions of our original crew from World at War, all on different sides of the conflict, coming together to fend off hordes of the undead. So many more new elements were brought in here, like the
Yeah,
Panzer Soldat and these
I won't even lie. As a kid playing this, brother, Panzer scared the absolute dog shit out of me. I won't even lie.
giant robots
Can't
that
even lie.
roam around the battlefield that you can enter to find buildable parts. The map features
staff
4
parts.
elemental staffs that
Fast.
each had their own steps to build, adding a meta game for each player who would call dibs and set out to build.
Hey, no, you want to call dibs. At the beginning of the pregame lobby, you would say, I got ice. You know what I mean? Or usually it would be like, probably the best player will probably get, what's the weakest one? Probably wind. You know what I mean? Or if you're that good, you'd be like, it don't matter what I got. I'll be honest. I was at him. It didn't matter which staff I get. I knew how to upgrade that sucker, bro. And not gonna lie, I'm one of the first to get my staff done. It's facts.
Their specific staff, adding another layer to the gameplay.
It's
all
facts.
coupled with an Easter egg an ending that left you intrigued and wanting more.
I won't lie, bruh. To this day, I still can't beat the Easter egg solo. I have yet to do it on Origins, on Black Ops 2 version. It's one of the hardest things out there. I ain't gonna lie.
Even though they might not all be your cup of tea, Black Ops 2 had some of the most creative maps and mechanics we've ever seen in zombies.
True, true. Ever since Mob of the Dead, none but bangers. And I know bangers.
Black Ops 2's multiplayer felt great. From weapons,
oh
to
yes,
maps, to
yes,
streaks. There's
yes.
not a whole lot that Treyarch did wrong.
The score streaks. Oh, but take me back to 2012,
when
bro.
it comes to multiplayer. Playing it today, it brings you back to a simpler time without cheesy systems like sliding and gun build.
No sliding.
Playing the game, well, is more about the gun skill and map knowledge over flashy moves.
Yep.
Weapons and streaks feel great. Every gun hits that perfect blend of arcadey, but not quite pea shooter, letting even players less skilled on the sticks get some kills. While
I feel like because like there was a lot of good guns back then, like a decent amount, and sometimes like, you know, any good gun, like someone was always using a different gun, but there was obviously favorites. Like in multiplayer was like AN-94, the MP7 was a favorite. That was one of my favorite SMGs. MSMC. Obviously, if you had the DLC's Peacekeeper, you know what I mean? Like Scar H, I keep going. Like some of those guns, you know what I mean? If you know how to use them, you're gonna be all right.
It could still dominate. The game has a pretty solid selection of streaks too.
The streaks were so good, bro.
Classic RCXD is back along with Attack Dogs. All new ones like the AGR, Dragonfire, and Guardian were all.
I'm not gonna lie. If you're one of those type of people to run high score streaks, I'm with y'all. Well, my lowest streak was an Orbital VSAT, K9 Unit Swarm. Sometimes I go like basically like support streaks, 8 UAV, counter UAV, Orbital VSAT, or EMP system. Or you know what I mean?
Welcome additions that would go on to join the roster for years to come. Not to mention the Swarm, which summons
so good.
Well,
a swarm
of hunter killer drones, dive bombing enemies, leaving them no place to hide.
That shit will kill you sometimes though. That should be so annoying.
And more than likely quitting out of the game. The biggest thing BO2 was known for at the time was their Pick 10 system, which offered a unique take on the classic 2-gun, 3-perk classes we had since COD 4, allowing for greater customization to fit your playstyle. If you weren't around back then, this is how it worked. Each class had all the standard item slots. What made this system unique was that when you went to make a class, it would start out completely empty, and you were given 10 points to spend building it from scratch, with everything costing.
Boy, you would go double perk 1 slot, double perk 2 slot, and you run what? Flat jacket, maybe hardline or something else, or you run like toughness and scavenger. And the third one would be dexterity, I'm pretty sure. That's off the dome.
You mix and match what's most important to you, meaning you could build a normal 2-gun, 3-perk loadout, or if you wanted to double down on attachments by sacrificing your perks, you could. Love grenades? You can load up on lethals and tacticals and forego a secondary and its attachments. The simple system offers so much player freedom and helped create one of the most diverse, well-balanced sandboxes in COD. Every weapon class had a place, from snipers to shotguns to the classic ARs and SMGs. Even launchers were fun to use, and you never felt underprepared by having one on your class.
Jesus,
it was just
bro.
a well-balanced game overall. This diversity was helped greatly by the maps as well, with most following Treyarch's now infamous 3-lane design. 1 lane is for long range, 1 is for short, and 1 for medium. It seems simple on paper, but in practice, this design philosophy is responsible for some of the community's favorite maps like Raid, Standoff, and even Nuketown. The rest of the map roster is also incredibly solid.
Nothing was better than those like double XP weekends, and then you would see like Nuketown 24/7 or Standoff 24/7, bruh.
Plaza, Slums, Hijacked, Cargo. And that's all just on this.
Cargo was alright.
Some of the best BO2 maps came in DLC packs, like Grind or Rush. Uplink and Studio, that were remakes of Summit and Firing Range, were fantastic additions as well. It's hard to find even a single Black Ops 2 map that doesn't hit, besides maybe Turbine. Many maps even had
Oh, Turbo
dynamic
was so
elements
ass,
too,
bro.
like Express's bullet train that rips through the map. Likewise, the first DLC map featured a dam that would intermittently wash away all players below a certain line. It's small elements like this that adds variety to the rotation and rewards experienced players who know the map well and can plan their moves around these obstacles. Wager matches were rebranded in this title into party games, giving players a place to chill between hubs without the added pressure of placing bets on. Some of my favorite memories playing this franchise were actually in gun game lobbies back in the day. BO2 was also home to COD's first ever rank play mode, a separate playlist with OP weapons and streaks turned off, where you competed against other teams of similar skill in a highly competitive arena. This mode spawned an entire generation of
Hey, let me know if you were ranked, bro. I was ranked. You know what I mean?
Including myself. Watching Nate Shot and Scump on ranked play back in the day was a big inspiration for me to get into content.
Nah, bro, I was watching Pomage. I ain't gonna lie. Everybody watch FaZe, bro. Let's keep it real. I was watching Pomage back then.
Like Boston Breach. The new Mastery Camo grind was also simple and straightforward. Even microtransactions were pretty great in this game. Instead of being shoved down your throat, BO2 would offer very select cosmetic packs featuring camos, custom reticles, and
you know, I had Afterlife.
All for, get this, $2. An entire awesome looking camo like Weaponized 115 for less than a quarter of a single weapon blueprint in today's COD.
No, bro. I remember back then it was actually $1. I swear it was $1, bro. Like, that's, bro, the amount of camos, bro. I'm actually want to play Black Ops 2, bro.
It really was a special time. A game indicative of the era when the dev's only goal was to make a good, well-balanced game. No matter what you liked about COD, at least one of BO2's 3 modes would offer a fun and exciting experience.
Shit, all of them did.
Which is something you really can't say about most modern games these days. Overall, it's my favorite COD of all time. And if you haven't played it, I'd highly recommend it to every kind of COD player. So that begs the question, what's your opinion on Black Ops 2? Thanks so much for watching. Leave a like if you're new, subscribe.
W video. I'll subscribe to him. What's the dog Smitty? Shout out to him. I see you, what's it called, on TikTok, bro. I see you on TikTok. W video, bro.